Alright, welcome back to the review, and welcome back to the review where we're going to go ahead and cover the card types in Hyborian Gates. So you saw me already go over this. As an example, again, Hyborian Gates. This is the game that we're going to go over the card types with. Now, most of the examples are going to come from my deck, because I have most of the card types. The one card type I don't have is the Guy Magic card, which I'll show an example of from another deck. Alright, now the first card type that you're going to see, I'm going to point out, are pyramids. Put this there. There we go. Hopefully that focuses correctly for you. Are pyramid cards. Okay, now the pyramid cards, as you can see, they have sort of a pattern here, symbols here, a color, and these are pyramid cards. Now, pyramid cards are the staple or the basis for the game for one half of your pyramid complexes. A pyramid complex is going to consist of both a gate card and one of these suckers, one of these pyramids. If you have a gate card with a pyramid attached to it, you have an active pyramid complex. Now these pyramids do come with the ability to punch out and fold out into an actual pyramid shape. I choose not to do that. For me, it's easier storage to just keep them in the card format and sleeve them. And the rule book specifically says that you can do it that way. You don't have to punch these out. And so I choose not to. But you can actually punch these out to form actual little pyramids that you would, put on the gates and so forth. So these can actually punch out to actual pyramids. So this is the first card type. These are not considered part of the deck. For your deck build, you can have as many of these as you want in your for your collection, for what you bring to the table for the game. And in fact, the more you have, the better for tiebreakers, for who's going to go first during the stage 4 player turn stage. Anyway, so that's the first card type. Alright, so that's the first card type. The next card type is just the dimension cards themselves. Here's an example of one of them. And this dimension card is Hyboria. So as you'll be able to see here, you've got the name of the dimension, the color, and then of course you have the general symbol for the game, for the card back, with the different gate colors and symbols on that image. But this is Hyboria. You're going to have one of these dimension cards for each dimension, for a total of 6 that are going to be in play during any given game. And these are going to be the location, this is going to be your game board basically, and the locations that you're going to fight over to control. These again are not part of your deck build, they're just part of what you bring for setup, just like the pyramids. So again, you're going to have one of each, and both players should, when they construct a deck, should have a full set. But if both players bring a full set, only one set will be used, because you only need to use one set. The exception is if you have players that are in the 8-player, 7-8 player range, 6, 7, 8 player range. So if you have the max amount of players, then you're going to end up having several rows of these. But normally normally, except for the maxed out game number of players, you're going to have one set. So those are the dimension cards. Now we're going to go to the actual cards that are actually in your deck, that you will use in your deck. Alright, so the first of these cards, which is going to be your primary card, is going to be your Trooper card. So let me get this going here. Alright, so this is the Trooper card. And this Trooper card is going to, as you can see, going to consist of several different elements. You have the image, you have the name of the trooper, and right below the name of the trooper you're going to have the type of trooper. And then below that you're going to have game text. And then off to the upper right hand you're going to have a transport icon, which if it's a trooper, the transport icon is going to match whatever type of trooper they are. And then to the upper left hand you're going to have what's called a trooper's strength. And a trooper's strength consists of two attributes, or two parts. The two parts of a trooper's strength is a top number, known as the attack, the bottom number, known as the defense. And those two numbers will be compared in combat, and whoever is the highest attack, and it will be simultaneous. But anyway, so the attack and defense is used in combat. So that is the trooper card. Again, that's an example. And you may have more than one transport icon on a trooper. A trooper might have more than one, but usually a trooper is going to have just one transport icon on the trooper card, normally. But again, there are exceptions. You might have more. But anyway, so that is a trooper card. This is the basis of your deck. This is going to be your manpower. Your basic fighting force is the trooper. So there you go. So that's a trooper. The next card type is a gate. Let me turn this around and get this up here for you. Alright, so the next card type is a gate card. And like I said, this forms the second half of the two parts that create a pyramid complex. Is again the pyramids that I showed you earlier, a pyramid, or any number of pyramids with one of these gate cards. The gate card is going to have image, name of the gate, the type of gate, so the dimension that gate is native to. So this is right here the Asgard symbol, so that's an Asgardian gate. So this is an Asgardian gate, so it's directly its native dimension for this gate for transportation purposes is Asgard. And then of course game effect there, and then you have every gate will have numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is for if you overload a gate, you're going to have a countdown before that gate will self-destruct. A gate will only overload once, and it can only overload once in the rules. So if you choose to overload it, you're going to decide, how much of an overload you want, and then it's just going to tick or count down until it explodes or destroys itself. Now the reason you want to overload possibly would be more transportation power, which gives you more ability to send more troops through, larger troops or more troops through a gate. But anyway, so that's that. That's a gate card. You're going to need to have, for every 9 cards in your deck, you need to have 1 gate card. So if you have a 50 card deck, you're going to have 5 gate cards. Or if you have a 60 card deck, you're going to have 6 gate cards, for example. In addition to the 1 for every 9 cards, special gates like these, ones that have a game effect, you have a limit of 1 for every 2 plain or non-game effect gates. So for every 2 basic gates, you can have 1 gate with a game effect in your deck. So if you have 6 gates in your deck, for example, 2 of those if you have 6 gates in your deck, for example, 2 of those gates can be a gate that has a specific ability or special ability. The other 4 gates in your 6 gates have to be regular gates, ones that do not have any kind of a game effect. So anyway, so that's the deck construction rules regarding the gates. Again, the gates are going to be your transportation ability in the game, so they're important. You don't need to put more than the required in there, but you do need to make sure you have those minimums that you have. Again, for every 9 cards you have a gate, and no more than 1 game effect gate for every 2 non-game effect gates in your deck. Now you don't have to have special gates. That's a max on that. You can have all your gates be non-unique gates. All of your gates can be non-unique gates. If that's the case, then you don't have to worry about the 1 for 2 rule. That's only if you choose to include gates with abilities in there. But anyway, so that is a gate card, and there you go. So that is a gate card. The next card type that we're going to cover is what we call a power surge card. So let me get this in the right setting there. Okay, so this card is a power surge card. Power surge cards are basically like interrupts in other games. You can play it at any time during any player's turns, during any player's turn during the fourth stage, the player turn stage. And the reason being is it's the stage 4, the player turn stage, stage 4 is a non-simultaneous, meaning that you're going to take your round, your phases, and then your opponent is going to take his phases before we switch back to simultaneous portions of the sequence. So these can be played in any non-simultaneous stage, which basically means it's going to be any time during stage 4 of the turn, or during any time during the player turn stage. And literally, they're like interrupts in that sense. You can play them at any time, even during combat, outside of combat, whenever would be applicable. And so this is an example of one awesome strength. It's going to have the same general idea. You're going to have an image, name of the card, the type of card that's a power surge, and then the game effect here. In addition, you're going to have the symbol for a power surge in the upper left-hand corner, which is this symbol right here. That is the power surge symbol. So there you go. That is a power surge card. Alright, the next card type that you're going to have in this game is something called a Vortex Tactic card. Alright, so the next card you're going to have in this game is something called a Vortex Tactics card. A Vortex Tactics card is a special card that you can play during combat only, so during a campaign or combat between 82 troopers, that will have some kind of effect on the game, usually pertains to combat itself. But these are things that could potentially change combat in any given situation. So these, again, are very effective. So these Vortex Tactic cards, here's the image right here on the upper right hand corner, image, the name of the card, the type, again Vortex Tactics, and the game effect right there. The way the Vortex Tactic cards are going to be, so those are the Vortex Tactic cards. And again, like I said, you play it during a campaign, during a specific battle between any two troopers that are engaged in combat during a campaign. Alright, so there's the the Vortex Tactic cards. I already showed you a trooper. Okay. The next card type to show you that's a possibility in this game is something called a vehicle. So let me do this into the right combination here. Alright, so here's the vehicle card. And the vehicle cards are going to go ahead and look like this. It's going to have an image, and then so there's the image, and then it's going to have the name of the vehicle, and again it's going to say that it's a vehicle. All vehicles are Asgardian, so every vehicle is going to say Asgard vehicle for the type of card. And then game of text at the bottom here in this little bubble, and then you're going to have again a transport icon on the upper right hand corner for this card. All vehicle transport icons are going to be the Asgardian symbol, because again the only vehicles in the game are Asgardian vehicles, which are Asgard specific. So again, only Asgards can use Asgardian vehicles in the game. And as you can see, my deck is Asgardian, so I've got Asgard vehicles in here. Now, the upper left-hand corner, you're going to have the vehicle symbol here. In addition, you're going to have modifiers. This is if there are modifiers. Usually vehicles have modifiers. And this is a +2, +3. So that means that whatever trooper this is attached to, in addition to whatever game effect it has, will have a bonus to their stats of +2 to their attack, +3 to their defense. There you go. And again, and also again, this transport icon is going to, if the more transport icons that are attached to a trooper, the more expensive it is going to be to transport that trooper with all of their attached cards to a dimension. Just keep that in mind. Alright, so that's a vehicle. And then the next card type to show you in this game is what we call a companion card. And let me get this into the right position. Sorry. Okay, so here is a companion card. Now companion cards, they are going to have this format. They're going to have an image here, right there. You're going to go ahead and have the name of the companion. You're going to have the type of card type, and again, companions are going to have companions can only be attached to the type of trooper that they match. So every companion is going to have Asgard, for example, or Gaian, or Hyborian, or Siren. So it's going to have a faction before the name of the card type. So this faction is an Asgard, and the type of card is a companion. So that is a Asgard companion, which is, again, shows right there. And then, of course, the card effect, the card text. And then you're going to have, again, a transport icon on the top right-hand corner. And since this is an Asgardian companion, that transport icon is going to be the Asgard icon. And then in the upper left-hand corner, you're going to have modifications, if any, to the trooper that it's attached to. Technically, it has its own strength values as a companion, because our cards will reference a companion strength. So these values are technically their own values, but they have a plus in front of them, because when you add up the total combat values, you're going in combat during a campaign, this will add to the total combat value that the trooper possesses. So for that purpose, these have pluses in front of them. So this will add +3. So that this trooper's 3 strength will add 3 to the trooper's strength in combat. Same with the +1, so this 1 strength for this companion's defense. Sorry, this 1 defense from the companion's strength will add 1 to the defense for the trooper, so that trooper will be in combat +1 defense. But again, technically these companions have their own strength, so their own attack and defense stat. But again, for purposes of convenience for the player, they have the pluses in front of those numbers, so that you understand that their strength is being added to the trooper in combat. Anyway, so that is the layout of a companion card. Again, a companion strength, which again is like the troopers, divided into 2 parts, attack and defense. So that is a companion card. I think there's just 2 more card types to go over, so let me find... I gotta find the 1 card type that I have in here. Sorry. 1 more moment. It's gonna be in here somewhere. I know it is. Alright, 1 second. And I know I have it in here somewhere. Just can't seem to find it for some reason. I apologize. Oh, there it is. Okay. Alright. The next card type in this game is this. Okay. So the next card type in this game is what we call an Siren Tech card. A Siren Tech card is going to look like this. You have a picture, you have the name of the card type, which again is a Siren Tech card, which in shorthand is just a tech card. Again, just like vehicles, technically you just call them vehicles, because there's no other vehicle out there besides the Asgardian vehicles. They just call them vehicles for short. Same thing here. There is no other type of tech in the game except for Siren Tech. So all Siren Tech is shorthanded to refer to in the game as tech, simply tech. But anyway, so the tech cards, again, name, the type, the ability or game effect, image, and then here's the symbol, upper left-hand corner. Now, if a tech card happens to also give a bonus to the trooper that's attached to it, it will have a plus to attack and or defense inside the symbol of the tech symbol. And then also to the right hand you have again a transport icon, and the transport icon on tech cards is the Osiren symbol, because again it's Osiren Tech technically and lore wise, so it's going to have the Osiren symbol for the transport icon on the upper right hand corner. But again, anyone can use Siren Tech. That's why it's shorthanded to be just Tech in the game for other cards that reference it. And again, that's an Siren Tech card, or Tech card for short. There you go. And again, anyone can use those. Siren Tech cards. Anyone can use them. It's just that those sirens have an additional bonus, or a bonus to that. Alright, now the last card in this game to be aware of is this card, which I don't have in my deck because I don't play a Gaian deck. But there's this. Okay, so the last card type is a Gaian Magic card. Again, you're going to have the image, the name of it, a Gaian Magic, so the type of card, which again, a Gaian Magic is shortened in the game in terms of card reference within the game to just a Magic card. But anyway, so that's a Gaian Magic card, game effect here, and then the Gaian Magic symbol is right here. Which is right here, which is this little burst icon. And then also the Gaian Magic cards do have a transport icon on them. Now this, I don't know why they did that, because you never transport a Gaian Magic card anywhere, because it's more of an instantaneous thing, unless I'm missing some somewhere. But so far all I've seen of them have been just instantaneous effects. But nonetheless, Gaian Magic cards do show the Gaian icon, a Gaian transport icon on the upper right hand corner. Which again, because they're Gaian Magic cards, the transport icon is going to be the Gaian icon. Because again, Gaian Magic is a Gaian specific faction ability, so it's only going to be the Gaian factions that use it. And so there you go. So that's the card layout for a Gaian Magic card. And again, Gaian Magic cards are just like the Vortex Tactic cards. They're played in battle. The limit is once per battle per trooper. So a Gaian trooper that's in battle can only play one Gaian Magic card per battle that they're in. But they usually are very powerful cards. They usually do a lot of really cool effects. But anyway, so there's a Gaian Magic card. And that's it. So that is it. Those are all the cards for the Hyborian Gates game. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you on the next video when we go through the walkthrough. So thanks for watching. Bye.